Shalom, shalom, akiyam. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash. I would also like to give a double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, where I learned this 144% truth. I would also like to say peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, starting with the 144,000 men of Israel, which consists of the servants, the prophets, whom have been ordained since the foundations of this earth to sing this new song, which comes in the form of this gospel, which will be preached throughout all four corners of this earth and rest upon the ears of the innumerable multitude, men, women, and children of Israel, who may be scattered throughout all four corners of this earth. It's just by Yan back again through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And I just want to get into a brief lesson, and Lord willing, share some information with you beloved Akiyam and Akwaf regarding the advancements that America plans to take via technology. And they call themselves in an AI race against China, where honestly China's been ahead of the game for some time now, as we know. Their cities, their infrastructure is by far more advanced than the cities over here in Babylon. Their train system alone, their subway system is, I believe, one of the most advanced in the world. But needless to say, we're in a time now where all these nations, they're cohesive with one another, okay, regarding this whole next step, where technology is pretty much God, because this system that the elite are trying to erect, okay, is a system which is based off technology. You see, they're trying to, their goal is to build these, these C40, they call them C40 cities, which is pretty much a buzzword. It's a code name for these 15-minute cities. They call them C40 cities. But needless to say, in efforts for these cities to become a reality, it's going to take a lot of advanced technology, in efforts for this to be possible. Where they're utilizing H100 chips and circuit boards that are just super advanced in efforts to be able to communicate with the Internet of Things, man. Which you people are going to become part of the Internet of Things, okay? And the main communication they need to have is with those chips, man, that are going to be in you people. You see, those microchips. All right, this is what these data centers that Trump is that Trump is pushing, that $500 billion investment in AI technology. That's what this is about. All right, this is where it's going. All right, Revelations 13 and 16, it's speaking. Okay, we're in a time now where Esau is gonna let it be known that technology is his God. Okay, and this is gonna put him on a level where he can act as God. You see, this is why Scripture says he was wiser than he's wiser than Daniel. When you go into Ezekiel, the 28th chapter, regarding the prince of Tyrus, which Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, will be likened unto the prince of Tyrus today. Okay, because when you go into matter of fact, let's go get that real quick through the spirit. Let's open up with that. You got certain camps saying, we're trying to link the Prince of Tyrus with Esau. That already had. Like the elder Yashawamba said, man, what is then is now. Like the scriptures say, that the elder's echoing. You see, but you got to have the spirit on you to understand that. All right, this is the spirit that Esau comes in. The book of Ezekiel chapter 28 and verse 2, and it reads, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, Thus saith the Lord power, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am power. I sit in the seat of power in the midst of the seas, right? In the midst of the people. Remember, the seas represent the people. All right, pursuing the Revelation 17 and 15. All right, the people, the nations are likened unto the seas. And as we can see, Esau, has been given the sovereignty to have control over the planet Earth. You see, this is why when you go to Revelation, let me get a quick precept real quick. That's when you go to Revelations real quick. When you go to Revelation 17 and jump down to the bottom, I'm going to stop in verse 10. Verse 17 is the point. Matter of fact, we like to read from the bottom up on this because it hits. Yeah, let's verse 17 is the point. I'm going to start at verse 18. I'm going to read up, right? Revelation 17 and 18, it reads, and the woman, right, which is America, the daughter of Babylon, right, which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. See? So she reigns over the kings of the earth. She sits on the beast. All right, the beast consisting of the NATO, all right, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and the EU, the European Union. She sits on this beast system, controlling the narrative, okay, via the global elite. Now, let's continue on. Verse 17, for power hath put it in their hearts. Whose hearts? The beast's heart, which consists of the NATO and the EU, right? And these other nations, man. Remember, she's controlling this. She's controlling the narrative, But it's aiming towards the NATO and the EU, because when you read up one more chapter, it says, in the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, right, and make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Those 10 horns, that represents those vassal states, okay? The EU, the European Union, you see, which are pretty much a revival of the states that were then, the nations that the vassal states of back then. You see, this Edomite system, right? Let's continue on. Let's go back to the point, verse 17. For power hath put it in their hearts. See that? The 10 horns, which a horn represents power. A horn is a representation of power. You see? To fulfill his will. To fulfill whose will? Yahweh Bashim Yahushai's will. So the Lord put it in their hearts and their minds of these kings, right? To fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast. See? Until the words of power shall be fulfilled. So the Lord is controlling this thing. This is his movie. You see? So ultimately, he's putting it in the minds of these kings to be cohesive, okay, with the powers that be. But ultimately, this thing's going to spill over, over power, as usual, as you can see throughout the time of the Ptolemaic and Seleucid Empire, which were Edomites. As you can see, that was a that was a complete fight over power, over territory. You see? And that's how Edomites get down. There's no honor amongst thieves. So why would there be any honor amongst them now? So the point I'm making is that all these nations, okay, are pretty much operate under the same beat of the same drum in efforts to bring forth this new world order. You see? And it's the Lord controlling this narrative, putting it on their hearts to do so. You see? So as we go back to the article, or the video rather, which I do have a brief article as well, and you can see they're trying to put a variance between China and America via this AI race. Listen, they're all on the same team. Okay? They operate under the beat of the drum of the elite in efforts to bring forth this fourth industrial revolution, which is a technologically advanced based system. Okay? Transhumanism. AI technology, C40 cities, which are those smart cities. Okay, you owning nothing and being happy. This is what this is boiling down to. Where you're completely subservient to the system. Alright? So through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, I'm gonna play this video. This video is about 7 minutes, it's not long. And fair use is for educational purposes only. But needless to say, I'm gonna play this video, and we're gonna get into a few things through the spirit and make sense of it through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Lord willing.
First time on the show, Scale AI founder and CEO Alexander Wang. His company provides accurately labeled data to help companies train their AI tools. And back in 2022, he became the youngest self-made billionaire in the world. Pretty amazing.
Thanks for having me on.
I want to go straight to what we were just talking about off camera, which is the idea of where the U.S. is on AI versus China, because you have some very surprising statistics that I think will probably, frankly, freak out some of the viewers.
So, yeah, first of all, the AI race and the AI war between U.S. and China, I think, is one of the most important issues of today. We took out a full-page ad on the Washington Post on Tuesday saying that, America must win the AI war. And so this sort of relative race in AI between the U.S. and China is critical. Today, we released Humanity's Last Exam, which is a new evaluation or benchmark of AI models that we produced by getting, math, physics, biology, chemistry professors to provide the hardest questions they could possibly imagine that are relevant to their recent research to really put the test to the models. To give you a sense, no model is getting above 10% on this test. That being said, what we found is that DeepSeek, which is the leading Chinese AI lab, their model is actually the top performing, or roughly on par with the best American models, which are O1 from
Okay, so
OpenAI.
I think we have been all under the impression that the U.S. was way ahead of China as it relates to AI, in large part because we have access to, NVIDIA GPUs and chips and other things that supposedly the Chinese do not have. I keep hearing from people all week, from people, Chinese AI executives, that they say, we're so close, and by the way, we're doing it with one hand tied behind our back. Our algos are better. We're actually going to figure out how to do this, do it better than the U.S., and in even a more energy efficient way, because we don't need these super powerful chips. Are they happen to be right?
There's two things happening. First, it is true. It has been true for a long time that the United States has been ahead. And that's been true for, maybe the past decade. That being said, the very recent event on Christmas Day, about a month ago, DeepSeek released a model, which, by the way, I think is symbolic that the Chinese lab releases, an earth-shattering model on Christmas Day when, the rest of us are sort of celebrating the holiday. And they released it to much fanfare, and then they followed up with their reasoning model, DeepSeek R1, which is the one that we evaluated as top of the leaderboard. The reality is yes and no. So, the Chinese labs, they have more H100s than people think.
And these are the highest powered NVIDIA chips that they were not supposed to have.
Yes. My understanding is that DeepSeek has about 50,000 H100s, which they can't talk about, obviously, because it is against the export controls that the United States has put in place. And I think it is true that, I think...
Right, and real quick, and these H100 chips, they're very powerful. They're some of the most powerful chips out there. And when you go here, I got some information real quick. What is an NVIDIA H100? Alright. And there's various information on here. Let me see here. And there's various information out there, regarding this technology. But needless to say, I came across this right here. Right? And let me see, it's from pretty much I searched it up. You see? So there's some information here we can read on real quick. NVIDIA GPUs, right, which are graphics processing units, are powerful machines capable of performing numerous computations in parallel across hundreds to thousands of discrete computing cores. You see, so communication. They need a high level of communication. And efforts to achieve this technological system that they're dreaming of. You see, and the technology's here. You see, the technology's here. And as a matter of fact, it just dawned on me. Forgive me, Akiyamanakwa. I jumped out of, because it just reminded me, he's wiser than Daniel. I jumped out of Ezekiel 28. Forgive me, Akiyamanakwa. Let's go back there real quick. Let's go back there and finish that up, because we jumped out of it to make the point with the seas. The spirit hit. Forgive me, Akiyamanakwa. Let's jump back to Ezekiel 28 and make the point. I wanted verse 3 to make the point. All right, this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 28 and verse 2 from the top, and it reads, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, Thus saith the Lord power, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am power, I sit in the seat of power, in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man and not power. See, though thou set thine heart, your mind, remember the word heart in the Hebrews lab, which is your mind, as the heart, as the mind of power, man. Okay? And we know that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, as far as his thought, as far as his heart's concerned, his mind, okay, he's on a level where it's uncomparable. You see, when you go to quick precept just came to mind. When you go to 1 Corinthians, it could be 2 Corinthians. Now I got it right here. The Wadi Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 25, and it reads, Because the foolish things of power is wiser than man, and the weakness of power is stronger than man. He's on a whole nother level. Uncomparable level. You see, but Esau with his technology, he thinks he's going to be able to take it there. And his pride. Look at Ezekiel 28 and 3. Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee. Why? Because of the technology. Okay, the technology that this man has been given access to has now put him on the level, okay, of a god. To where he can spy on you. Okay, you got these smart TVs. And here it is. You got these people thinking that these smart TVs are for their satisfaction. No, man. He's a smart TV. He can tap into the camera on your TV, man. Okay, the camera system you got set up at your house. Okay, he can tap into that camera system and spy you out. We know he's doing it through the phones. See? Anyways, let's continue on in this tutorial from DigitalOcean.com. Right? Continuing on, going back to the talking point of these H100s. All right, that Moabite was talking about, Alexandra Wang, 28-year-old billionaire. Okay? And they need salvation. Anyway, right, let's get this real quick, right? Let's tap back into this. So NVIDIA GPUs, which are graphics processing units, right, are powerful machines capable of performing numerous computations in parallel across hundreds to thousands of discrete computing cores. You see? So they're in parallel, so they're all linked in. Right? With the release of the Hopper microarchitecture, right? Last year, the NVIDIA H100 is among the most powerful single computers ever made available to consumers, greatly outperforming the predecessor Ampere machines. With each microarchitecture, a term for the instruction set architecture of the processor release, NVIDIA has introduced a substantial improvement in VRAM capacity, CUDA cores, bandwidth over the previous generation, while the powerful Ampere GPUs, notably the A100s, ushered in the AI revolution. Over the past 2 years, we have seen Hopper GPUs take this development rate to unprecedented levels of growth, and this is what they're tapping into, man. Okay, they're tapping into H100 technology, man. Okay, which is gonna allow these heathens to take it there, man. Because this is something that has to come to pass. You see? This is something that has to come to pass. It's prophecy. That they'll be able to bring these miracles forth through their technology, man. You see, let's continue on.
They have more chips than other people expect, but also on a go-forward basis, they are going to be limited by the chip controls and the export controls that we have in place.
How do you, I mean, you work with everybody, so I don't know if it's fair or unfair, but how do you stack rank these large language models and who ultimately is going to be a winner? Or are they all so close and it gets commoditized?
The interesting thing that we see right now, so we actually specialize in this. We've produced our SEAL evaluations, our safety evaluations and alignment labs, evaluations which measure across many different dimensions. We measure across math capabilities, coding capabilities, multilingual capabilities, and reasoning capabilities, and many different dimensions, including tool use and agent capabilities. And what we see is different models are better at different things. So it's hard to put a clear stack ranking among all the models. For example, the OpenAI models are extremely good at reasoning, but the Anthropic models might be really good at code. And sort of there's a diversity of capabilities of the models. That being said, I think what we're seeing in general is the space is becoming more competitive, not less competitive.
I keep hearing from business leaders here that they're all playing around with, OpenAI, or they're playing around with Claude, which is the Anthropic model, or they're playing around with Gemini, et cetera. And then they're going and using Llama. They're going to find some open source version to try to get close to what they could approximate these other guys doing because of just the different price points of these things. Do you think that's the future of this? I think like in a Linux world.
There's definitely a dimension. It comes down to ultimately the level of capabilities and intelligence that are required for your use case. I think ultimately what we're going to see is, what we do with all the leading labs, including OpenAI and Google DeepMind and Meta and many others, is continuing to push the frontier and push the boundaries. And so how do we leverage data, given that, as an industry, we've sort of run out of publicly available data? How do we generate new data to keep pushing the frontiers? And our belief is that, advanced capabilities are going to enable incredible use cases where you're going to be willing to pay for those increased capabilities. But for the more simplistic use cases, those will probably go more towards open source or more basic models.
We've been talking all morning about Stargate and the debate happening on Twitter between Sam Altman and Elon Musk about whether they really have $100 billion or $500 billion. Satya Nadella was sitting in your chair just yesterday saying he's got $80 billion, his money's real. He took to Twitter. What do you make of all of this? You know all these players.
So much is on Twitter anyway, so I'm not sure.
Or X, we should say.
Or yeah, yes. X. But I think one thing that is very real, regardless of sort of Stargate specifically as a program, is that the United States is going to need a huge amount of computational capacity and a huge amount of infrastructure. So this was actually we wrote a letter to the Trump administration on recommendations on how to ensure that the U.S. stays ahead. And one of them was really around infrastructure. We need to unleash U.S. energy to enable this AI boom. And that's clearly what we're seeing right now, which is, in addition to the Stargate program, many of the major AI companies and major clouds are going to be looking to build giant data centers. So
the reason I asked this about the different companies doing this, do you ultimately think we need 5, 6, 7 companies all trying to build frontier models? Or, there's been a talk forever that, in a different, if Lena Khan hadn't been running the FTC, would have Amazon wanted to buy Anthropic already, for example? Or would have Microsoft bought OpenAI? Or would have some of these folks, so there wouldn't be as many, everybody competing against each other in the same way? I don't know, maybe you think the competition's great. I just don't know how long term, how many models there ultimately will be like that.
Our view is actually that this is potentially going to be one of the greatest markets or the greatest industries ever. Right now, let's say there's between 10 and $20 billion of LLM-based revenue. And if you believe that we're actually on a track towards superintelligence or AGI, then it stands to reason that that's going to go to $1 trillion or more of revenue. And so if you're looking at a market that's going to go from, let's say, 10 billion to 1 trillion over who knows how many years, I tend to believe a fewer number of years. I think we're sort of in the 2 to 4 range.
2 to 4 to get to AGI. And what's your version of AGI?
I think, obviously there's many definitions. The definition I believe in is our powerful AI systems that are able to use a computer just like you or I could, and could use all the tools that a computer could, and could basically be a remote worker in the most capable way.
Hey,
China's latest AI.
You see that?
See, because it is against.
You see? And this is something that they're all working on, man. And he has a 2 to 3 year vision of this perfected system. Okay, hey, this thing is becoming a reality. You clearly see these heathens raging, man, and imagining vain things, man. You know, because they're gonna get so far. You see, now this type of technology that they're talking about is gonna allow these C40 cities, man. All right, that the World Economic Forum has been pushing for some time now, as far as it being as far as when they brought it to the light. You know, so I got this quick article right from Natural News, dated January 20th, 2025, and the title reads, WEF, C40 Smart Cities, Dystopian Nightmare, where elitist ruling class can literally shut off power, vehicles, food, internet, and money anytime for any reason. Now we see that being possible with the type of technology they're going to be using, these H100 chips. This is clearly a reality, them being able to do these things. And this is the type of control that they want, because this is going to put them in the category of a god, of a power. You see? You see? This is what they want. Right, let's read some of this. Right, the World Economic Forum has established C40, a program aimed at creating smart cities, which are portrayed as a dystopian society where the elite control all aspects of citizens' lives through digital means. See, technology, it's all technology. That's what's going to give them these capabilities, man. That's why your money's going digital. Okay? Hey, you going digital when they get that chip in you. You see, your access points are going to be limited. They're going to have full control over everything. In a smart city, every essential service can be remotely controlled and potentially shut down by the authorities, including food rations, electricity, transportation, and internet access, as a form of punishment or during emergencies declared by the rulers. Hey, and if you get this thing in you, that chip in you, and they can shut you off, man. All right, they'll be able to shut you off. So this is what this whole big push is about, you know, with these data centers. Okay, that's the infrastructure of the system that they're trying to create. Those data centers that Trump is talking about. Look at Cheyenne Batra, a candidate for mayor of London, warns that the C40 initiative could lead to a situation where cities resemble open prisons with strict controls over citizens' movements, access to resources, right, and even their daily calorie intake, right. They were talking about tracking your carbon footprint. What do you think that's about? They're trying to link that with global warming. This madman. Well, here it is. This man's been out, been out there on his space station, littering, the whole in the atmosphere, man. That's why you got something called space junk. How do you think that got there? Because of the waster himself, Esau. You have plastic islands. Okay? Why do you think that is? Because of the waster, Esau. And what do you think that causes? Global warming. These non-biodegradable materials that he creates, like foam and plastic. What do you think that's causing? Global warming. But no, he's blaming it on the trees, cows farting too much, and you eating and going to the gym too much. This is why there's global warming. This man is a madman. You see? And these are some of his excuses as to why he's going to be in a position to control your life on every level and spectrum. through this system that they're going to create. It's a totalitarianism system. Complete control. Hey, and guess what? All these heathen elites are with it. They're all on the same, they're on the same team to bring forth this global new world. And Moab is hand in hand with evil E. The scriptures say that. Why do you think they're on the front line of this whole thing going forth? That man said, Alexandra Wang said that his company, they wrote a letter to Trump regarding how to get America ahead. They're working hand in hand, man. Hey, in the scriptures, matter of fact, we can close out right here. Is that second Ezra? See, the scriptures are just, man, they can't be contested. It highlights it all. We're seeing this right before our eyes. Let's go here. The book of second Ezra. The book of second Ezra is 15 and 46. And it reads, And thou, Asia, thou art partaker of the hope of Babylon, and art the glory of her person. You see? So Asia, you see Moab. You see Moab up there, man. They're partaker of the hope of Babylon. And you see how they're leading the charge and helping Babylon push forth this technologically advanced society, man. You see, look. O thou Asia, thou art partaker of the hope of Babylon. Right, because you already know this is their last hope. This infrastructure, this system as we know it is crumbling. Because it's in that season. As Ecclesiastes tells us. To everything there's a time and a season, man. A time to be born and a time to die. We're in a time where Babylon is dying. There's no reverting a system's decline. The only way you would have to revise it, excuse me. Like this is the revived Western Roman Empire, but the Western Roman Empire is no more. But this is the revival of it. It was revived through that's the only way. Other than that, this system as we know it must be. The only way they can continue is if they revive it. Their goal is to go technologically advanced. That's how they're going to be able to stay in the position of the reign of terror that they're in. You see, but they're out of time as a people with power. Just like how the Hamites ran out of time. Okay? You had these Hamites in the form of the Egyptians and the Philistines ruling, controlling shit. Had the whole old world at the time on lock. Now they running around half naked, talking about done, through, out of there, completely finished. That's what the Lord did. The Lord did that to them. You see? Concluding their reign of terror. And this is what Esau is coming into. He's coming into the time where he's about to be stopped. Right along with the rest of you heathen. Okay? Because believe it or not, unbeknownst to the world, Yahweh Shai is on his way. Alright? And that's going to bring forth this game change. Alright? Where Jacob is going to be in a position of power. And Esau, you're going to be sat down. Okay? Continuing on. Let me read this again from the top. 2nd Ezra 15 and 46. And thou, Asia, thou art partaker of the hope of Babylon, and art the glory of her person. Right, everything's made in China. Okay? Check your shoebox, man. It was made in China. Look, woe be unto thou, thou wretch. See, woe be unto you, Asia. Why? Because thou hast made thyself like unto her. And look at this man. He looked like he just came fresh off a ski resort. And just jumped on the podium and went ham. Now I seen a comment that said that. Right, let's check this out. One person said that it was hilarious. It is true. Let me see. There's a lot of comments here. Right here. Anything JW said that guy looks like he just stopped by this booth while hitting the ski slope. Oh man, that had me in tears right there because it's true. I mean, man, these individuals don't need salvation, man. They received their consolation. This man's 28 and he's a billionaire, not taking anything away from him. It's because they're in their blessing. It's that simple. You see? They're in their blessing. Point blank, period. All right, let's go ahead. Continuing on in 2 Ezra 15:47. Woe be unto thee, thou wretch, because thou hast made thyself like unto her, right, like unto Babylon, and hast decked thy daughters in whoredom. Right. You know, these Moabite women went from, you know, walking around with their head down, you know, doing anything and everything for their family, being respectful and upright towards their man. They come over here, and it ain't take longer than 6 months for the wine from Babylon to get you drunk. And now she's telling her husband, fuck you, I'll call the police. You see? You know, sneaking out of the house on their kids if they, you know, if they ain't got a man around. You know, but they came over here, you know, under their customs, and you know, they brought their family without their husband. They got a couple of kids. They go, well, they're sneaking out the house. You know, trying to go to these go in the spirit of Baracus. You know, go to these clubs and bars. They're sneaking out of the house, leaving their 4-year-old at the house with their 10-year-old sister. Their 4-year-old son's at the house with the 10-year-old sister. Mom's talking about, I'll be back. And in their language, talking about, I'll be back, in Chinese. You see? That's what Babylon will do to you, man. It'll turn you out quick. You see? And this is what we see. You got Elon, his old lady refuses to cover her head after a month of being in Babylon. Talking about nigga, why? You know what I mean? For what? This is what it is. This is the wine of Babylon will mess you up. Look it. Let's continue on. And has decked thy daughters in whoredom, that they might please and glory in thy lovers, which have always desired to commit whoredom with thee, man. Right. Moab has committed fornication with Babylon. They're tied in through that fiat currency, man. They're doing big business with Babylon, man. Look it. Thou hast followed her that is hated in all her works and inventions. Okay, therefore saith power, I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence, to waste thy houses with destruction and death. Right, you heathen are going to lose. And this goes back to Isaiah 31. To all those that are hoping and helping Egypt, they shall all fall together. It all circles back around to that. You see, you heathen are going to lose at the end of this thing, because Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is gunning for Babylon. Anyone joined unto him is going to be thrust through, pursuing Isaiah 13. Hey, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, this includes you. You all right? You want to be joined unto this place, man. It includes you. Because what you got to understand, I quoted earlier, I'm going to close out right here, I got to go. Salakia, Aki, Amenakwath, I'm out of time. You already know plantation. But we almost out of this bitch. As I quoted earlier, right? Psalms 2:1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? They're imagining a vain thing. Okay, this dystopia, you know, that they want to erect. Salakia. You know, this dystopia they want to erect. They're imagining a vain thing, man. You see? But they're going to only get so far. They're going to get so far. And like Yahweh, like the scriptures say, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua said, what? While they're eating. Okay? He's gonna catch him while they're eating, man. You see? Call out Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, man. It's only a matter of time. We got to be patient. We got to watch as well as pray. Yahweh Shai's on his way, man. It's clear. We there. Things are ramping up. Prophecies speaking and not lying. You see? So, hey, let's go, Aki Amenakwath. We almost there. Hey, Lord willing, you were edified. Lord willing. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kwedash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, where I learned this 144% truth. Shalom.